Well, it is time to get started. So you have just Lisa and I today. Valerie off today. So I'm going to be manning the people coming in too. It might be a little much in the beginning, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Today is going to be different. We are taking questions. We have a lot of questions that were submitted. I don't know if we'll get through all of them today. We also want those of you that are here a chance to ask and talk and share your feedback and share your experiences, and maybe you have something to add to one of the answers for some of the questions. So it's going to be totally different today. Oh, it's still beeping at me.
Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. We want to hear.
We definitely want to open the floor and have you guys talk. So I think, what did we agree to? We're going to raise our hands, Lisa. Is that how it's going to work?
And that would probably be the most organized way to do it, probably.
Okay.
Or just,
if no one's how to do that.
If no one's talking, then of course, I think I just wouldn't want people talking over each other. And P.S., our chat isn't really broken, but I'm just saying that so that we can all
want people to talk.
Yeah, we don't want chat. We want you guys to talk about life, what you're doing out there, and your experiences.
All the great stuff. So we're going to start with a slide with questions, and then we're going to answer the questions, and then we're going to open it up to see if you guys have any more questions about that, or if there is another question that you might have, because those of you that are here, we want to engage and have you kind of communicate and get something out of this as well. I don't know if we'll get through all the questions today. If we want to do another one down the road, we can do the same kind of, we'll see how it goes. So learn as we go. For the portal, if you guys want to get into the mastermind portal, you want to go to www.homecaremarketingmastermind.com. You do need to put the W's in there. The getting in is your email address, is your username, and your passwords, whatever we sent to you. You don't remember the forgot your password feature works very well. It's much better than many that I've used in other systems. So today we have question time. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I don't have any idea how long this is going to take. I don't know if we'll get into the handouts or not. We like to review them usually. We'll just kind of see how it goes. So to start, for one of the first questions that came in, we did put these kind of in order, is talking about assisted living. So how to decide how often I should visit assisted living that's not in a CCRC. How many times in a given month? I would say you should be seeing everybody every 8 to 10 days. But if you have lots and lots and lots of contacts, and you can't get to everybody every 8 to 10 days, assisted living, for me, and I don't know if Lisa will agree with this, but for me, assisted living was good. It wasn't bad. It's just that rehabs and skilled nursing facilities were a much better referral source for me, both different companies that I worked for. So I would probably, if it were me, would decide if I was, spread thin and I had too many contacts to see every 8 to 10 days, I would probably put assisted living, once a month, maybe twice a month, unless it's someone who is referring and has given you a lot of business, obviously. I don't know, Lisa, if you would agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one of the questions down further too talks about, well, they say they already have people. And so that's one of those things that you have to overcome too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you have someone like you said, Dawn, that's already referring to you, great, or need backup for their staff, great. Yeah, I think about once a month, or I mean, as often as you can get out there if there's a need to be out there. Because you want to be smart about your time too.
Right. And for the assisted living facilities, they will say, we already have staff, we already have people, we have, they don't have enough people for that one-on-one, for the new resident that's moving in, who's not going to activities, who's not leaving their room, who's just not comfortable at all. They don't have somebody that can, get that person to come to activities and sit with them in the dining room or whatever it needs to happen. Many times people are super social and they move into assisted living and they just get super quiet. They're uncomfortable. They don't know how it works. And so having a caregiver with them their first week or two moving in to help them get out of their shell can be really helpful. So that's usually how I start with assisted living. I start with that scenario. I also talk about, you have to give people examples, not this is what we do. This is what we do. You have to give them real life examples. what have you done in the past with assisted? And if you haven't done anything with assisted living, you can use these two examples. One is the new resident, and the other one is somebody's discharged, just like they discharge from skilled nursing, they're discharged home to assisted living. A lot of times they need more care than they can get in assisted living. You have to be careful how you word that. You don't want to insult the assisted living, but they're not a SNF. They're not a rehab, and they don't many times have the staff to take care of someone with as much care as they're going to need when they discharge from a SNF. So that's another example of where you can come in and help somebody in assisted living too.
Right.
So, you know, the second question, should I spend more time marketing in nursing homes? I would say the nursing home, SNF, rehab over assisted living. In my experience, that's been a better referral source for me. I mean, I love those discharges. They almost always need big hours when they discharge home. And if it goes well, hopefully they're going to keep you. You know, what landed them in the SNF to begin with? We don't want that to happen. If they fell in the shower, we don't want that to happen again. So even when they get better, they should at the very least have somebody there when they shower. So, you know, it gives you that opportunity to also have a longer time with them. Does anybody have anything to add about the assisted livings? Anything that, would you agree, or is assisted living your number one referral source?
Right.
You don't have to rate. You can just speak up if you want to unmute. You can just speak up if you've had experience or anything to add to this. I'll keep going down the list, but feel free to interrupt. I don't know about a free CRM software. I've used Salesforce. I've used Playmaker. They're very expensive. They're very involved. We do have a free CRM that comes with our home care sales and marketing program. And I believe you can purchase it separately as well, but it's not free, but it has been customized to home care. So it's a pretty good CRM, but I don't know of any that are free. Anybody on here know of a free CRM?
Would you be able to give us the link to your CRM program?
Yeah, I can send a link we have some demos, I believe. You can always schedule a demo with us, but I do believe we have some demo recordings. So yeah.
Who was that?
That was Sharon.
Yes, Sharon.
Sharon. Okay. How are you, Sharon?
Fine.
Hi. Okay. So let's see, what is this, John? I don't have a mic. How can I participate if I can't chat? You don't have a mic, John? Is that a system that we have? Is everybody muted? Is that the problem? I don't
No,
think
because Sharon.
just spoke.
John, I guess if you, I
don't know. I don't think everybody's muted. They're not. So
you find him and send him an unmute request. Maybe that will.
Okay.
No, he's not. You're not muted, John. Or are you? Let's see. I think you were. Oh yeah, he is.
Someone said a free CRM that they know of is notion.so. And if your microphone doesn't work, you can type. We can read through the chats as well, if that works. Okay. So what should I have in my marketing bag when I visit? So I have a link to something that we talked about, things that you should have in your car. I mean, this isn't necessarily the marketing bag, but these are things that would be good to have in your car at all times, because then you're not running back and forth to the office for things. And maybe you stock up your car once a week. So 50 business cards, 50 brochures, 10 brochure racks. So those little plastic racks. If you bring brochures to assisted living, SNF, anywhere, and they don't have somewhere to put them, there's a good chance they're going to end up in a drawer somewhere. So I always put mine in a brochure rack when somebody was new, and I would stick my company logo on the front of it, so that they knew that that's where my brochures went. So I'll give them the way to hold your brochures. Always staple your business card to your brochure as well. 50 of your weekly handouts. So those handouts that we're creating, you should have 50 of those in your cart any given time. 5 copies of each senior specific training. So we have caregiver quick training guides, Alzheimer's, chemo, there's 13 of them. So you should have 5 copies of each of those in your car. Tape, a small stapler, so you can attach your business card to treats and brochures. 2 client intake folders, or whatever it is that you need to sign a client. You should have at least 2 of those in your car. You could walk into a SNF and they could just tell you to go down the hall and sign somebody up. So you need to be ready to do that. Maybe 5 extra service agreement forms. Sometimes they're starting to complete that and the wrong person is filling it out, or the wrong person signed it. They have a POA. I've had that happen. So extra service agreements, maybe some business cards of your scheduler staffers, the person who's going to be their contact ongoing, a box of thank you cards, the small ones, because you do want to thank your referral sources. Even if they send a referral that doesn't turn into a client, you want to thank them. So a thank you card, a box of thank you cards, a box of pens, a couple of highlighters, and whiteout. Anything to add, Lisa, that you would add to your car?
I always had little like giveaways, in my gosh, I wonder if I have one here. I had these little heart stress balls and little things like that. And I would actually keep bins that I could kind of like pull out, in my trunk was like super super elaborate. Like this is where everything is, and everything was very organized to where I could just grab it and go. Including, any one sheets for every, different thing and all of that. So yeah, swag. Fred calls it swag. Fred Alma calls it swag. Loves the swag.
I always had little bottles of hand sanitizer with our logo and phone number. That was the swag, or Post-its. I also had Post-its with our logo and phone number.
Yes.
So
I even had these really pretty, I still use it actually. I should, but I'll show you really quickly. These are really pretty. I'm going to block the logo of whose it is. I don't know if you can see that, but it's this really pretty nice notebook. And we had like a ton of them, and they're expensive, but they were really nice to have. People love those, and I would see people using them all the time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Anybody else have anything? Oh, and cups, yeah. And when somebody new, it's nice to have that swag for them for sure. Anybody else have any thoughts or ideas on what to keep in your car? Nope. Okay.
Keep water in your car for yourself too, because we forget to do that. Drink in the restroom.
I think someone's talking. Keaton?
Yes, Dan. So I was wondering, what should I have in my bag when I go visit the
when you go in? Okay, so the actual bag, I would say the brochures, the giveaway that you have, that you're using right now, your business cards. I think the things that you mentioned, I used to carry, a client folder in my bag when I would walk in, because if they did send me down the hall, I could sign them up. Maybe one of the quick caregiver training guides in your bag, just some things that you could share with them. Usually though, I had a theme every week, right? This is the week I'm going to talk about discharges. This is the week I'm going to talk about. And so that theme, I would have whatever I needed for that theme in my bag, also. So, I think you're on the right track with the business cards and flyers. And maybe extra giveaways, maybe you're going into a SNF and there's usually 3 people that you leave stuff for. I would always have a couple extra just in case they were standing and talking to somebody when I walked in the building, or there's, 2 people at the front desk today and not one. You want to be prepared for that. You don't want to give something to one person and not somebody else.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I would always just kind of replenish my bag as my personal, marketing bag when I would walk in anywhere with, up to 5 of each of the things that I, had to offer, including the one sheets and things like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And any kind of, we've talked several times about having your differentiator, right? What makes you different than other home care companies? And that's something, if you could have a sheet on how you're different, that you would be, that you would give to anybody new. Because there is, when you're in a building, the hope is you're going to see new people each time you go. You want your regulars there, but it might be nice to go talk to PT while I'm in the SNF. Maybe I got past the gatekeeper and I'm back there. I can wander the halls and I see the PT office. It's good to have those differentiators in your bag too, because you might run into somebody new when you're there. So that's also something else to keep in there.
And I think that's important too, because it's not like this is brand new to them, like they don't know what home care is. So explaining what you do, I'm home care. Okay, yeah, they get that. But what makes you different is huge.
Yes. It's very big. And that's can help you to get in the door too. You don't know about our company because we do this differently. This is how we're different. That's what they want to hear. Everybody knows what home care is now. The